Hello dear friends, this is your personal English coach Divyam here, and in this video we will be understanding an interesting poem written by Ann Duffy. This is called The Dolphins. Before we move on with understanding the poem, I would like to show you two videos. You have to be the judge and tell me in which video do the dolphins look really very happy. So this is video number 1. Hold on to it, and there they are. This is called a hoop through which a dolphin is made to jump. Not only that, they're asked to swim reverse, and then a man gives them something to eat, or maybe the trainer. Now, Ann Duffy must have visited a zoo or a show in which she saw dolphins being trained and being made to jump through the hoops that we just saw in the video. And this poem is written from the perspective of those dolphins. So Ann Duffy actually realized what the dolphins were feeling, and the poem is written in such a way as if the dolphins themselves are speaking, or we can say feeling. So what is this poem all about? This poem elaborates or enumerates the feelings of dolphins, which were once free without any restrictions, swimming around at its own will, at its own desire. But now, these days, if you see some of the water parks, some of the aquariums, some of the zoos, they have these confined water area in which it is asked to do tricks by the trainer. Its master, he will use them to perform different tricks to amuse people. And what the people do not realize, or what the trainer does not realize, is it's taking away the lives of these dolphins. In short, it is a sort of animal cruelty, making the animals do as humans want. This poem shows how animals, and especially dolphins or elephants or tigers, are made to suffer in the hands of human beings. Ann Duffy just wants to convey a message to stop animal cruelty. Now, there is a deep metaphor in this poem. The metaphor is there are some people who are confined to other people's desire. They are asked to do certain things and they have to. So at a metaphoric level, this poem also indicates all the human beings who think they are caught in a cage, caught and confined in this world. Alright, having understood what this poem is about, now I'll tell you some of the features of this poem. If you have read this poem, you must have observed that there is something called juxtaposition, Juxtaposition, which means two things are placed side by side, two ideas or words are placed side by side, and they are opposite to each other. So this fact makes the poem even more impressive. At some places, Ann Duffy has kept some things ambiguous. That also makes a good impression on us as readers. There is something called continuation, or it is called enjambment, which means the lines are continued without a pause. Yeah, so this is another feature which makes this poem special. The main motive of this poem is to create a feeling of pity or caring for the animals. Now, dolphins are just the subject, but behind this poem, all the animals that are subjected to animal cruelty are to be considered. So it is called pathos, Pathos. Now, this is when you create a feeling of pity by your artwork. So the dolphins, which were free once upon a time, are confined to the cages and made to do tricks. Now this is intended to evoke some emotions inside the mind of a reader. Okay, so let's get started with the first stanza. Now what you see on my screen is the Google Books version, so I might not be able to highlight statements or write down the word meanings beside like I do it in other poems, but definitely if you just focus on my cursor position, you will know on which line we are at. So let's begin with the first line first. Okay, Carol starts with, world is what you swim in or dance. It is simple. So definition of a world. Now whose world is she talking about here? Is it just dolphins? No, it is dolphins as well as any animal as well as human beings. Your world can be considered as your world if you are able to freely dance, if you are not subjected to regulations, or if there's no one to order you, no one to make you work according to their desires. So your world can be called as your comfortable place, your comfort zone, if you are able to freely do things like dance without any regulations. Now it starts with dolphins speaking for themselves. We are in our element, but we are not free. So it's just like a jail for humans. Inside the jail, if you must have seen American jails, human beings are given everything: books, good accommodation, normal food, but they are not given freedom. They cannot go outside, right? So similarly, these dolphins, they are saying that they are in their elements, which means whatever they require, food, water, air, everything is there, but they are not free. They are asked to do certain things. Their freedom is confined. They cannot move around wherever they want. So in our element is, it may be water, it may be food, it may be good living conditions, but the most important thing that an animal requires, any animal, I have seen people caging birds, you know, when they see an exotic parrot like macaws, they confine it to a cage. No, a bird is not born to be confined into a cage. It has wings, it has to fly. Now this is ridiculous. That's another type of animal cruelty. So similarly, these dolphins are supposed to be free in the oceans. So dolphins are given all their elements, but they are not free. Outside this world you cannot breathe for long. So outside this world, which means outside water, outside their element, you cannot breathe for long. Now obviously these are aquatic animals, you take them out and they will die. So dolphins are thinking that even if we escape from this confined area, we will die. We are sure to die. We cannot escape this area because we cannot breathe for long. The other has my shape. So who is the poet referring to when the poet says other? It may be other dolphins, it may be other aquatic animals inside the pool or water park or zoo. The other has my shape. So there are other fishes with me. The other's movement forms my thoughts. So the trainer must have made a trick in such a way that if one dolphin moves maybe out of the pool, the other has to follow. So the second dolphin is speaking here. The second dolphin is stating that if the first one takes a left turn, I have to turn left. If it's right, I have to look at it and turn right. If it jumps, I have to follow its jumps. So the second dolphin here is stating that whatever the first dolphin does, I have to follow. I am asked to follow. And also mine, which means my movement decides somebody else's movements here. So it's like dolphins performing in a group, the video that we just saw earlier. There are a couple of dolphins and they are asked to do tricks, right? So depending on each of the dolphins, the adjacent dolphins have to act So that's what the dolphin here. Now Carol, as a dolphin, is stating, there is a man. Now who is he? There is a man and there are hoops. Now outside the pool there is a trainer, and the trainer has hoops. So in the video we saw how the person had burned the hoop and the dolphins were asked to jump through it. Right, so the dolphin is aware that there is a man who might beat us if we not follow the tricks, if we not follow his instructions. There is a constant flowing guilt. Obviously, if you are confined to your room, say for example you are in higher grades, right, your parents ask you to not play more video games, not go out for a longer time, you feel that you are trapped, right? So similarly, these dolphins also are trapped. They cannot escape. If they escape, they die. And because they have to do certain things that they do not want to, that they don't desire, they have a guilt. The dolphin is thinking, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Is this life? This is not how world should look like. We are supposed to be free, but what are we doing? We are just following someone else's desire and ambitions. This is not us. Next stanza. We have found no truth in these waters. Now, what is the meaning of truth here? Again, truth means the joy, the real joy you get in your life, the real magic you feel by living. So we have found no truth in these water. So if you have a bigger goal in your life and you are chasing that goal every day, you are doing things in your day that helps you achieve the goal. For example, if you're an athlete, you train on a daily basis, you go for jogs, you make sure the nutrition is good. If you do these things, you feel as if your life is truthful, and one fine day you will win the race. But here the dolphin are asked to do the same thing over and again, so they feel that they have lost the real joy in their life. There's no truth. Everything is forced. No explanations tremble on our flesh. So what happens when you're trapped? For example, if you're asked to sit in a room and your parents would make you study, so you would convince yourself by stating that, okay, if I study hard, if I score more marks, then I'll be able to get into a good college or get into a good degree and pursue my career. You convince yourself and you are satisfied by that, and so you work hard. But for these dolphins, what can be a feasible explanation? Even if they convince themselves, they are not satisfied. They would do the tricks, they would follow the trainer, but in the end there is no plausible explanation that they can give to themselves, and therefore the dolphin is thinking that there is no such explanation we can make up to be happy in this confined area. We were blessed and now we are not blessed. See, these lines are pretty simple, and if this poem is asked in the examination, it should be pretty easy for you to answer. It's a plain text. All you need to do is try to get your feelings clear about animal cruelty. Stick to the point that animals are not to be tortured. Okay, so we were blessed. When were we blessed? When were the dolphins blessed? When they were free in the water, in the ocean, or from whichever place they were caught. Okay, they were absolutely free. They could do whatever they planned to. They could roam around for kilometers and kilometers. And dolphins are one of the most brainy aquatic creatures. They communicate, they have feelings, they take care of families. There are so many things that happen. Now imagine a dolphin which travels from kilometers to kilometers, from places to places. Somebody trapped it inside a net and put it in a maybe 500-meter long water body. Just imagine how would it feel. The same area, empty water. There are no rocks. There are no other new creatures to meet. It has its own life, right? So that was the dolphin's blessings. But now It's not the case. Everything has changed. After traveling such spaces for days, we began to translate. After traveling for which space? Well, after traveling inside the aquarium to which it is confined to, after moving here and there and in the same area again and again for days and days, we began to translate. Means we began to understand that the place is the same. There is nowhere to go. We have to thrive here in this jail. It is the same space always, and above is the man. So the dolphins now have realized that they are into a trap inside a water body, and there's always a man on top who's ordering them. So their blessings are stolen. That's what the dolphins learned after being there for a couple of days. So repetition of idea. You see, every line has the same feeling to convey. Pathos or pity for the dolphins. And now we are no longer blessed, for the world will not deepen to dream in. This is a repetition of the same line, but the reason is different. The aquarium in which they are confined to, or the water body to which they are confined to, is it going to cave in and make space for the dolphin to swim? No, the aquarium will remain the same. In fact, these days the modern aquariums are built so tight and so strong that even a person with a hammer cannot break it. You need a crane to break it, right? So what they're saying is this aquarium going to deepen or cave inside the earth and make space for us to dream in or to live? That's not going to happen, and therefore we are not blessed. The other knows, and out of love reflects me for myself. Now this line indicates a wonderful understanding between these dolphins. Okay, something that we should also learn. We as human beings should also learn the kind of interpersonal relationships we should have with others. Now this dolphin is stating here that there are other dolphin who is aware of these feelings, and because all the dolphins feel the same, they are reflecting each other in each other's presence. They are feeling empathy for each other. This is because they love each other. They are confined, they understand each other, and when they look at each other, they reflect their own self by the pity that the other creature shows. We see our silver skin flash by like memory of somewhere else. So the skin of the dolphin is grayish in color, right? And whenever there is sunlight, whenever it roams freely on the surface of water, the gray and wet skin would start reflecting, right? So it says we see our silver skin. So when that silver skin is seen by other dolphins, they become nostalgic and they think about the times when they were free in the oceans. So silver skin here indicates dolphins swimming around in the tank. Now this is a simile, and a group of dolphins is called a shoal, S-H-O-A-L. So they are aware about their shoal and collective existence, and it also shows how absolutely aware these dolphins are of their own body language, gestures and signals. Next line is pretty simple. It says there is a colored ball we have to balance till the man has disappeared. So this is another trick. In the video that I showed you earlier, the dolphins were asked to swim rivers, jump through the hoops, and there is a huge colored balls which dolphins have to balance on their noses, right? And again, another kind of a trick, another form of cruelty. So the man will instruct them, they will send maybe signals. So the way these aquariums are built is there are two or three speakers on the roofs, and the sound from the speaker gets inside water, and these dolphins, which are very sensitive, they hear these orders and follow the tricks until the man, that is the trainer, has disappeared, until he has gone, these dolphins have to balance those balls in water. Again, it shows how the dolphin have to follow exactly what the trainer wants, otherwise they might be punished. Finally, we see the last stanza. The moon has disappeared. Why is the dolphin talking about the moon here? Now, when it was in the ocean, there was nice full moon day, and the reflection of the moon used to fall on waters, and across that reflection, around those reflections, these dolphins would hover, would revolve and be happy. But here in the aquarium, the dolphins can't really find that reflection, the same reflection which would move along with the moon, and that has disappeared. We circle well-worn grooves of water on a single note. Here the word well-worn indicates the path that they had already traveled before, so it has worn out, and the path that they are already aware of. So what is a groove? Groove is a narrow, long cut or indentation in the surface, as a cut in the board to receive the tongue of another board. So it's like a furrow or natural indentation on an organism. It's like a furrow. Furrow is the right meaning here. So this might be another trick where some notes are being played and these dolphins have to circle around some area. So well-worn, so worn and torn area, the same and old path they have to follow in the aquarium because of a single note. Now these notes might have been created, so somebody might be playing music and then the dolphins have to do the trick, or these dolphins must be asked to circle around some groove, and because of the circling around they must be creating ripples like notes. These have two meanings, so you can imagine a sense of music that is being created when they travel these well-worn grooves. Music of loss forever from the other's heart, which turns my own to stone. Now the dolphins are in shoals. There are maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 dolphins, and when one dolphin looks at the other, it feels the loss that all the dolphins suffer. Each other, they feel for each other. When they see another dolphins, they feel how their lives are lost, how the music in their lives, which means the enjoyment, the music which they created by hovering around maybe the reflection of the moon, or maybe by some other method, it's lost forever. Now they look at each other and feel the loss of music which was there earlier in the ocean in a dolphin's heart. And looking at the other dolphin, the dolphin which is watching or observing, it feels even more worse. So that's why the observer dolphin also feels terrible, and its heart becomes as that of a stone. There is a plastic toy. There is no hope. Now these trainers and these human beings, they think that we have confined the dolphins, let's keep them happy. So what they do, they put some toys inside the pool, and they think that these dolphins would keep playing with them and make merry and be happy. But can these toys give real joy to the dolphins? Absolutely no. So you must have seen some of the zoos in which these monkeys are trapped. For the monkeys, they put these artificial trees and branches or maybe projections to cling on. But do you think they can survive happily there? They just can't. It doesn't work. Nature has its own way of helping them. Okay, so similarly, these dolphins, they're saying they are these plastic toys and we are aware about these toys, and we don't really feel happy. Then there is no hope, because the aquarium is gonna stay forever until and unless the people are gonna come and watch us, and we sink to the limits of this pool until the whistle blows. And there is one more trick. The trainer would whistle, and once the dolphins hear the sound of the whistle, the dolphins would reach towards the bottom of the tank, okay, and come back up. So this is another trick. So the dolphins are trying to reiterate what they do and how they survive. There is a man, and our mind knows we will die here. So you see, the scare of human beings is all around the aquarium, right? There is a man who is whistling, there's a man who is giving us orders, and nothing new is happening in this confined area is what the dolphins are feeling. Now all these feelings are actually felt by the poet Carol Ann Duffy, which clearly observes the torture that the dolphins undergo, right? So this poem is having a very plain text structure, nothing very difficult, not too many words that you have to learn. And if you get any questions in the examination around this poetry, just try to stick to the main idea, that is animal cruelty, okay? And to summarize, Carol Ann Duffy is talking on behalf of the dolphins, and it is just trying to tell us, in fact all the dolphins together are trying to tell us that stop the torture. We are not made to survive in aquariums or surrounded by these man-made things like hoops and toys. We are born to thrive in nature, to travel long distances and be in our shows and be happy. Friends, I hope you've understood this poem. If not, if you still have a doubt, do mention it in the comment section and I will address it. Also let me know other chapters or poems that you want me to cover and upload a video on. I thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day.